Hello, I want to do a brief preview of the Edusim Alpha 11 function. Some of the new things the Cobalt group has been working on the past several months. We have added those here into the Edusim Alpha 11 version, and so I want to discuss those and show you some of that. First, to launch on a Mac, you will use this cobalt.app file. If you're launching on a Windows machine, it'll be cobalt.bat. If you're launching on a Linux machine, it'll be cobalt.sh. So as we mentioned, the Edusim distribution of Cobalt Alpha 11, this is what it looks like. I've loaded it up. I've launched it with the cobalt.app. To launch the world, I'll actually click here, click to start world. So now we're in world. You'll notice that we have and I'm using my middle scroll bar to scroll my avatar in and out, the view in and out. We have a really blank template right here, and I'll show you a few things we can do. First, if you click this image that is right in front of you, it will open the blank space, and I can kind of walk into that blank space just like we could before. But we want to walk back out, and I'll show you what you can do with this blank template. Let's kind of go this way, and you notice how I'm doing that as I'm doing this with these directional arrow buttons here to the lower right-hand corner. I can also use my arrow keys on the keyboard to move around, and so that's how I'm doing this now. But I want to show you something here real fast. We're going to go through the menu real quick, and then I'll show you some things we can do with this empty space. First, we'll look at this main menu here. This is our return home, so that'll return you back to your default position. This is your info, your avatar size, and if voice and video chat is on. If you don't want to be disturbed, if you're in a multi-user session, your name. Some of these things are experimental. Most of them work fine, as the name Alpha would imply. A lot of this is experimental. I can also change my avatar. You'll notice that we have image billboard type avatars now that are always facing forward. So if we're in a multi-user session, we'll always see the forward-facing image if they're using an image avatar. And how we do that, if you go to Images, and I'll change to the JAWS avatar, and go ahead and click OK there, and now you can see my JAWS avatar there. And then, of course, quick space. So we can do a new space from a template, and there are some basic templates set up: an interior scene, an exterior scene, underwater, just a plain white, a plain black, and then the intro world is the main one with the mountains. But let's go ahead and do an interior scene. Once I click that, take it a little bit of time, and then it will render it right in front of me. I can grab a corner and stretch that window out and walk into it. You notice when I walk into it, I have something that looks like walls and that looks like carpet. So that's what that looks like. I want to get back into my main default area here, and I want to show you some things here in a minute. We can also load spaces. We can load from our local directory. And how you'll do that, if you go to this load from local directory, to actually see your saved world, you'll have to click this. So this is one of my saved worlds. So for example, if I had this space and I wanted to save it, I'll go ahead and save it, and I'll call it my test space, and OK. That then saved a version of this world on my drive, and so now I can go to space and load from local directory. What I'll have to do from this saved spaces is click that arrow, and now I see my test space, and then the island C3D is the actual file of this saved space. I can also load from a web directory, and we'll show more on that here, but we have a pointer to cobaltworlds.com, which will be where we save a bunch of our space templates out for you guys. And hopefully in the future for where you guys can save your templates as well. Let's give up because I didn't enter a space there. And then Myspace info. What that's going to show you is your local space IP address, so that if you do try to connect to another user, because you can connect to another user on your local network, you'll know where their IP address is and isn't. So one thing I do want to show you though here, let's go to space, let's go to space info, and this is going to show space. If we want to turn fog on, for example, I can toggle that, and you see it's turning fog on. Let's turn it right back off though. Let's scroll down here. I want to assign a skybox, and the skybox will be the sky basically. So there we go. Now we have a sky. I use startup. You can also use new, and that's just completely black. But let's go ahead and use startup. See how it applied that, and a for texture. Just use grass. So now we have a sky. You can see how we've got our sky now. We've kind of got grass. It's acting a little odd here for some reason, but you can see our grass there now that we've applied. We're going to go ahead and save a space now. Let's go ahead and hop in. Let's create an exterior or an interior space. We'll go ahead and hop in here. Let's spin around and let's turn. Let's shut that down. We're going to add a quick resource because I want to show one thing. Let's add the earth here into our little internal space. Now we have a globe in the middle. But as before, you can still add images by dragging and dropping. You add text. You can add, and here we'll go ahead and add an image here real fast. And I'm doing this through the menu, but you can also do this through dragging and dropping from your desktop into the world. There's our image. Let's go ahead and we can do a piece of text also. And let's just do text in high. Okay, and there's our text document. And as before, this lets you walk up. This lets you grab it and move it if you want to move it around. This lets you close the texture, and this lets you delete it, clicking the X. We can also add MPG video. Has to be an MPEG format. It doesn't support MP3 yet. So that's that. And sound. We can do that. This is also window and in full screen mode. We can turn off our toggle, our directional menu if we wanted to. And we also have the the typical 3D painter that we've always had. Remember, we press keep to keep it once we have what we want. Now, one thing, when you right click on the object, you now the T-painted mesh, you have the same menu that you would have with any other model, whereas before you could just kind of move it around. But one thing I want to show you is the context menu. The options you have, we can grab this object through our context menu and move it around, release it. We can also edit, which I showed you earlier, and edit lets us move it that way, spin it, size it by grabbing a corner and stretching. And it also has the ability to, so for way back here, and we want to get up there real fast, we can right click on this and fly to, which is the first option, and it'll bring your avatar right up to the object. So that is another real quick way to navigate within a Cobalt Edusim space.